Alright, welcome to the Fluff Bitches. I just have to quickly look something up. I didn't want to make you guys wait. Don't please. No, Jesus. I knew that audio would go on. I was like, please do not. But, because I want to know. I want to find. I don't know why I haven't saved the post yet. I should definitely save it. Because when I read an SCP a while ago, one of the authors on Twitter was like, "Hey, that one is mine. So cool that you read it and that you talked about it. Here's a whole." And I asked them for a whole list of SCPs that they. Well, I asked them what other SCPs they made, and then it gave me a whole fucking list. And I'm trying to find a list again because I have no idea. Because we passed one of that they made, and now I'm wondering, are we about to pass another one? And why is it that this difficult to find? Is another question. There it is. Oh, I did save it. No! No! The moment I found it, I clicked on it and I clicked out of it again, and then it did the thing where Twitter just refreshes back to the top of the fucking. Well, at least I know I liked it, so that should mean that I can maybe find it easier if I just go down my likes. Although I like a lot of shit on Twitter as well. Fuck me. But we should be able to find it much faster. I say much faster. That might be a lie. That might be a lie. Come on. There it is. Please, let me just. Okay, here we go. Let me just look at it. Okay, so. Yeah, the Ancient Playing Cards and Stick of Motions were two that we already read from back then. But no, the next one is 992, which is not today, but tomorrow's SCP that we will read from them. And then we won't have an SCP of theirs for like a good 40. So, yeah. Okay. Got that shit figured out. Henry! You have to come closer than that, Henry. Let me just, here we go. And get rid of the rating from the last one. Okay. Henry, come on. Don't be shy. I mean, Henry's not shy. Henry is anything but shy. That is for sure. There we go. Got my charging cable here in case my Mac needs it for. The only problem with the webcam being right here is that it covers up the minimize and the restore. What? Restore down. What is that? What it's called? Interesting. Yeah, it covers that stuff up. So sometimes I have to just be like, oh, what the fuck is it? Where the fuck? I'm getting a message from. Okay. Charlotte. Charlotte. Are you around? Are you here? Give me a sign if you're around. Lord, give me a sign.
Any sign.
Here, nice. Good. Then I don't have to wait and worry. Oh boy, but I do have to fix the. You cannot deceive me, harlot. Okay, but I should fix the text once again. It is problematic that that SCP has pure white background, and then every other game has more of a blackish black background. So
Gotta fix the color once again. Charlie! Banana Mountain, Charlie!
okay, let's get it started. no more waiting. It's been 7 minutes. If people want to join, they can join later on. So, an absence of detail is SB8. Already a good start. SB980. An absence of detail. Okay. I always try to. Well, no, I'm not always. I sometimes try, because the other times I don't try is because I forget to try, to guess what it could potentially be by the title alone. An absence of detail. What if it's an SCP that takes away something that's supposed to be there, but no, I'm not talking painting, I'm talking human. Like the nose. It's just fucking erased. But the nose shape and physical like touch and like sensation is still there. It's still like you can still press on it. People can still feel it. It just looks like it's gone. Same with like eyes, mouth, fingers. That's my guess. That's my guess. And oh god, I should have not pressed my nose. I think it rustled all the pollens inside of it. Nope, nothing coming out. Okay, decent rating. It's above 100. I think above 100 is always decent. Below 100 is like people don't either people don't know about it, or just from the grand perspective of everybody, it's not that great. I don't care, because I am a person who likes everything, basically, even if it's really bad. Because at the end, it's there for entertainment purposes. So why hamper on it? It is safe. Okay, let me get my sound bits ready. Yeah, this is ready. Good. All right. SCP-980 is to be kept in a 3x3x5 meter lead room suspended in the center of a 25 meter cubed containment area at site. This room is to have a single glass window aligned with the window to the containment area. The inner window requires replacement every, I believe that's 8 days. Leaded glass is to be used instead. See addendum. The doors to this room is to be kept locked at all times. That SCP-980 is not under study. Personnel ranking above D class are not to enter the surrounding containment area due to mental and physical danger. No armed personnel or guards are required near the lift to SCP-980's cell, as it has not shown any means of escaping. In addition, the fall from its containment cell would injure it enough to prevent escape. No feeding or nutrition of any sort is necessary. So it is a creature, not like a memetic effect or a concept. It is actually a creature. Description: SCP-980 is a featureless humanoid. Okay, it's a humanoid of average height and weight, indeterminate age and gender, and smooth gray-white skin. So mannequin, basically, almost like a mannequin. SCP-980 does not possess any facial characteristics, sensory organs, or features such as nails and hair. Mannequin. It is injured with relative ease, bleeding a viscous substance that appears similar to white paint. Analysis shows that SCP-980 possesses no internal organs, though it does have a skeletal structure comparable to that of a human. Despite the absence of eyes and ears, SCP-980 appears to display 20/20 vision and slightly above average hearing. Extensive that was a chili coming up. Because it's definitely in my lungs right now. Extensive testing has not explained this, though no abnormalities or anything to suggest other methods of sensory capability have been shown. SCP-980 is able to write in English when prompted, though typing is inefficient due to its influence quickly rendering the keys as well as the monitor unresponsive. SCP-980 naturally inflicts a simplification effect on objects and being within a sphere 8 meters in radius around it. Gotcha. Said effect streamlines the features of object while removing color, detail, and often function. Animals first lose fur and distinguishing characteristics such as length of limbs and tails, presence of protuberances. What the fuck? Protuberances? Is that how you say it? As you can, as I've mentioned multiple times before, English is not my first language, so there will be some words that that I have no idea how the fuck to say it.
Protuberances.
Protuberances. Okay. And what does it mean? A thing that protrudes from something else, the fact or... Oh, okay, yeah, protrude is in the word, I guess. Etc. While humans develop more average facial features and lose or gain height and weight, these edges towards a rough average of around 1.7 meters tall with a weight of 76 kilograms. This is shortly followed by losing facets of their personality with interests, habits, and memories commonly lost first. While brief exposure to SCP-980 is not physically harmful, prolonged exposure of organic beings with complex circulatory and respiratory systems commonly results in the simplification and fusion of parts located near one another. No subjects have reported pain from the process itself. A D-class personnel used to test SCP-980's effect was affected on this level after approximately 30 minutes within SCP-980's containment area, with heart failure occurring almost immediately afterward. I'm just gonna lower the lo-fi volume just a tiny bit more. There we go. Let's see. Failure afterwards. Autopsy showed that the chambers of the subject heart has been fused together. Oof. Oof. Physical results tend to be somewhat random, usually affecting the heart, lungs. The fucking chili is affecting my lungs right now. Arteries, stomach and intestines, the brain and the sensory organs. While some cases are not fatal or even harmful in the case of the sensory organs, further exposure to SCP-980 causes transformation at a rapid pace. Can you imagine? I imagine that SCP-980 looks like a mannequin, right? Can you imagine you have that in your shop? You just have it there, and people just happen to not be around for too long to get affected by it. But then I don't know. You go shopping with your girlfriend or boyfriend. And then they decide to just chill, just go ahead, buy whatever you want, and you just chill next to this mannequin. Next thing you know, you suddenly wait, hold on, just shrink down, and your face just becomes more average look. I don't even know what that means, average looking, because that's an interesting term for physical appearance. And then your girlfriend / boyfriend turns around, looks at you, and you're like, what happened? And you're like, what do you mean? You then you go to the mirror, you look at your mirror, you're like, the fuck? What? Ha! And then you have no idea how that happened. You just morphed into a whole different human being while shopping. SCP-980 was found at the apartment complex in after several of exposure to SCP-980 caused deaths and mental harm to nearby civilians, as well as color and shape simplification to said apartment complex and many sub-objects inside. At the time of acquisition, it was wearing heavy winter clothing and a hood. SCP-980 has not responded thus far to inquiries as to how it came to be. Though room 307 seemed to have been affected more than other nearby locations. Okay. In addition, the tenant of room 307 was unaccounted for among the bodies of SCP-980's victims. Okay, Addendum 1, the standard SCP humanoid uniform issued to SCP-980 shortly after its recovery has remained in close proximity to SCP-980 for the entirety of its containment. The uniform showed steady results of simplification, but was still serviceable until 2000, when researchers noticed that it had for the most part vanished. A thin cloud was present in SCP-980's containment cell, and the composition of the cell air was noted to contain 0.% more hydrogen. Addendum 2. Lead was found to be one of the few substances that is highly resistant to SCP-980's natural effect on its surroundings. As such, SCP-980's containment cell is constructed entirely of lead, with leaded glass used in its windows. In a recent test, leaded glass showed increased resistance to SCP-980's effect, requiring replacement every 2 weeks. Incident report number 4. In the case of one D-class subject, D7, physical transformation did not seem to occur. The subject spent 3 hours in the presence of SCP-980 with no abnormal experiences and was suspected immune until prompted to leave, at which point the subject wordlessly refused and continued to sit in his chair with his eyes closed. The subject responded with a silent refusal each time he was prompted until he was threatened. The subject shoved the table to the side and sprung at SCP-980, embracing it. Another threat was issued and the subject began sobbing, continuing to keep his mouth and eyes shut. The subject was removed from the containment cell by security after he clung to SCP-980 in an attempt to claw through his own eyelids with the use of his nails. First study of SCP-980's properties has been documented in experiment log. How many experiments? Okay, not that long. Ever since 914, I'm traumatized when I see experiment log. I'm like, please don't be like way too long. I'm still recording SCP-914's experiments. I finished part 16 2 days ago. So I have 17, 18, 19, and then like the not yet approved experiments. So if I'm good, if I'm willing to do so, I can finish it next week and then upload the entire fucking monster of a video. Subject D7 was treated for abrasion on the face and remained in stable condition for weeks after Incident 4. Though it is suspected that his vision was impaired, the subject has not opened his eyes or mouth since. My nose is runny and itchy. Testing has shown that while he is physically able to open and presumably use his sensory organs, D7 consciously chooses not to. He has not responded to sounds or smells of any sort, including a handgun fired nearby. Okay. Oh, because that's a loud sound. Subject did not show any surprise. The later tests showed that his ears did sustain significant damage. SCP-980 has been questioned about D7's action and claims not to know of his intentions. He has little knowledge of its effects on human beings, but found his response unusual. It agreed with the interviewer on the tendency of its victims to react with physical changes rather than behavioral ones in later stages of the development. Imagine being the SCP and suddenly this man just... Oh, human being, because we don't know if D7 is a man or a woman. Actually, does it say? Was treated for operation on the phone. His vision, yeah, okay. Man, imagine this man just out of nowhere, just like, just comes at you, hugs you tightly, and just like, and you just there like, I don't know what's happening. And then the guards come in, try to like separate you two, and you're just there like, just sitting there like, please, please just take him away from me. I'm kind of scared for my life. Testing to examine SCP-980's effect on humans has resumed. Subject D15. Facial changes, slight height gain. Why is it? Wait. Subject D15. They're all crossed out. The facial changes, slight height gain, severe memory loss, vision loss, kidney failure, heart chamber fusion. That sounds painful. Subject D16. Severe facial changes, suspected personality changes, slight skin changes, lung and heart simplification. Subject D17. Slight build changes, slight facial changes, memory loss, deafness, stomach and intestine fusion, slight heart chamber fusion, slight liver function loss, blindness. SCP-980 itself has stated that it does not and has never intended to do such transformation in organic beings and inanimate objects alike. Well, most SCPs, well, I say, there's a good amount of SCPs that don't want to do what they do, but it's just. I'm sorry, it's your nature. The validity of such a statement is unverified, though the fact that similar results are found in all things within a certain distance of SB980, regardless of its level of focus or activity, seems to lend some amount of support to its claims. Though there is the possibility of manipulation or deception on the part of SB980, it appears probable that the effects themselves are an entirely different force than SB980 and have merely focused around it. Subject D18. Build changes, habit loss, suspected personality changes, slight heart chamber fusion, blindness, heart failure. Subject D19. Slight facial and build changes, slight suspected memory loss, hearing loss, liver failure, blindness, deafness, severe lung alteration. Subject D20 was the second D-class subject to show results similar to D7. Though minor facial changes took place, similar behavioral changes were noted and subject was introduced to D7. Though at first neither appeared to notice the other, after approximately 15 minutes left in containment, D7 began walking toward D20 and stopped inches from his face. Both subjects remained still in this manner for the remaining hour and 45 minutes after the exposure. That is odd. That is weird. Just this guy just... And just looking at each other for like almost 2 hours. It's just trying to live its best life. Now it's in a box. I mean, that's how SCPs work. You get you're an SCP, you go to the Foundation, you get captured, you get put in a box. But hey, at least I mean, it's not a bad box. It seems to have like some stuff that, you know, it might request. The only problem, of course, is you can't really chill with him, because if you do, you become a different being. Subject D21. Build and slight facial changes, personality changes, deafness, lung alteration, kidney failure, fusion of skin over eyes. Subject D22. Severe memory and personality loss, liver failure, blindness, heart chamber fusion. But yeah, I agree with you, Charlotte. Like, I feel like SCP-980 seems to be an SCP that's just like, I don't know why this is happening. Okay, dude, I'm just here. I just want to exist without causing any trouble. I don't know what this whole alteration shit is about, you know. Ain't my fault. I'm sorry. Subject D23. Slight facial changes. Severe personality loss, deafness, fusion of skin over ears, heart chamber fusion, muteness. D7 was exposed to SB980 a second time, albeit separated by a glass pane. Subject acted of his own accord for the first time in weeks to press himself against the glass, seemingly in an attempt to reduce distance between itself and SB980.
Come back to me. Don't you understand? I need you. I just want you.
The SCP's like, please, take me out to dinner first. We need to have a first date before you embrace me the way you did. SCP-980 backed away from the subject and sat against the far wall. I mean, fair enough. The D7 is being very, very unsettling with the way he's behaving. What's weird towards SCP-980 to ensure further changes would have the opportunity to occur. SCP-980's body language display fear. I mean, that is unfair. Come on, guys. Again, leave it up to the Foundation of having absolutely no sense of like reading cues when it comes to certain things. I understand that they had to do this like to fully test and make sure that like it wasn't a fluke or anything like that. But clearly SCP-980 doesn't want to be around D7. D7 freaks the SCP out, so please keep D7 on a leash, pull him back, and never let them get close again. Subject D24, severe build changes, personality changes, slight memory loss, blindness, deafness, fusion of skin over ears, lung alteration. Subject D25, severe build and facial changes, slight personality changes, and memory loss, fusion of skin over eyes, deafness, blindness, muteness, kidney failure, heart chamber fusion. This guy had it all. This guy had the whole bingo set of changes happening to himself. Subject D26, build changes, severe facial changes, severe personality loss, build, blindness, fusion of skin over eyes, fusion of skin over ears, muteness, liver failure, stomach and intestine fusion, deafness, fusion of skin over nose and mouth, fusion of heart shape. No, I'm sorry. This guy had the whole bingo set of of changes. D25, he was pretty bad. D26 though. Now that's a guy that suffered fully. D7 show physical changes during its second exposure to SCP-980. Subject experiences hair loss and skin formation of smooth surfaces over its unused sensory organs. D7 has displayed remarkable improvement in navigation and self-awareness. Why? Why is that happening to him? Subject D27, severe build changes, facial changes, severe personality, memory loss, blindness, deafness, fusion of skin over mouth, ears, and eyes. Why are these not crossed out? Subject D28, severe build changes, slight facial changes, severe memory loss, deafness, fusion of skin over mouth, ears, nose, muteness, fusion of skin over eyes. Subject D29, severe build and facial changes, severe personality, memory loss, blindness, deafness, fusion of skin over mouth, ears, nose, and eyes, muteness. Testing to examine SB980's effect on human is suspended until further notice. Okay. Opa! We got our first SCP of today done. At what point do they just refuse to go in there? They can't. They literally can't. Because D class. So how much do you know about the SCP Foundation? Because you did tell me you know about the SCP, but like D class, they are criminals that got asked by the Foundation if they want to get their life sentence shortened by doing a couple science experiments. They didn't tell them what science experiments, but they're like, a couple science experiments, really simple, easy going. And they're like, yeah, I'll shorten. I know basically the red shirts. Yes. And that's what, like, oh yeah, I'll shorten my life sentence. Yeah, and that's why the D class mostly don't have a choice, because if they don't participate, they get terminated, which just means executed, killed. So they kind of have to, and if they do an actual good job, they might have a chance to get up and promoted and then live a bit longer. I don't think any of the D class ever got to like go out again after the Foundation. Maybe there is like one or two that get amnesticized and then like can restart their life from the beginning. But yeah, most D class are basically like, not all of them are like super heinous criminals. Some of them are a bit lower, but most of them are. Most of them are, you know, murderers, serial killers, rapists, terrorists. Yeah. But some of them are like, of course, less than that. And yeah. So when you see like a bunch of D class like getting lined up to get sent to a test, that's because they have to. They get forced to, because either do the test, maybe not die, or don't do the test and then get killed. It's sadly not really up to their choice. And there are some D classes that are really heinous in this SCP Foundation, where you're like, yeah, it makes sense that they are here, and it makes sense that they get treated this way. But some of them, sometimes like the Foundation, the scientists and the researchers, they're like really mean as well. Where I'm just like, guys, I understand this person's a criminal, but like you don't have to like be like this towards them. For example, like with SCP, is it 086 or 084? I think it's 084. Let me see. 08. No, it's not. It's not static tower. 08. Where is it? The stairwell. 087, 087, that's what it was. I was one off with 086. That's one of the ones where I'm like, you guys are being awfully mean to them. Because it's a, like endless staircase where it's like pitch dark, and if you walk down like I think the first like 3 floors, you start hearing like a baby crying at the bottom, and it sounds like it's like 200 floors below you, or like a certain distance. But it doesn't matter how long you go down, it will always sound the same distance far away, and it's like it is endless. It's an endless staircase, and your flashlight has to have a certain amount of power. If it's too much power, it doesn't work. If it's too little power, it doesn't shine enough. So yeah, you have to have a specific amount of power to like see things. But the reason why it's even more creepy is that after a while, this like face just pops up. No body, it's just a face, and it's just kind of like it can pop up behind you, in front of you, to the side of you. It will follow you if you decide to run back up. What it does to you is unclear, but I'm telling you that shit is fucking creepy. And with some of the E class, I'm just like, I feel like they clearly are uncomfortable in the moment they hear the baby crying. They're like, this is weird. I know horror movies. A baby crying in the pitch black staircase, that's not a good sign. But then like the signs will be like, go down. If you don't comply, you know what's going to happen to you. And then they're like, shit, yo, I guess I gotta go down. And then like even when they meet the face and run back upstairs to safety, the signs still say like, no, turn around, go back down. I'm like, dude, this shit's scary as fuck. Nobody in their right mind would be like, yeah, you're right, and then go back downstairs. So yeah, it sucks being a D class, but at the same time, again, majority of D class are super bad, super evil criminals. So at the end, we're not supposed to feel bad for them, but there are some that from the way they're written, you just end up being like, man, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry you had to go through this. All right, next one, the director's cut. So as a filmmaker, that has a whole different meaning, but. So I'm going to connect it to actual film. It is a director's cut of a film, but that director's cut shows something super horrifying. Like it's like brutal, but it never actually happened. But for some reason, the director's cut shows like a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and they just somehow added that into the movie to make sense in the movie story wise. But then like it looks way too real. You know what I mean? Like I know that's like it kind of is a fusion of the behind the scenes and director's cut, but that's why I think like the director's cut shows something that has never been recorded, and whatever they show is like super disgusting or super brutal, and might have even like involved an actor's death, but the actor's still alive, something like that. That's a lower rating, 62, but that's again fine. Save, possibly Euclid awaiting further testing. Okay, second save. Here we go. Special containment procedures. Having shown no signs of its influence spreading further than the recording distance, as long as -2 remains within -1, it is required only to be stored in a standard artifact room in a locked copper box of at least 1 centimeter thickness. Access to the SCP is by application for level 3 and above only. If -2 is to be removed from its canister, it must be in a room at least 4x4 meter containing no physical media of any kind, and care must be taken during transport to ensure rooms adjacent, above and below are also cleared. Any memory sticks carried by the Foundation personnel should also be removed before entering the room as a precaution. Any media found to contain evidence of potentially Keter class SCP must be quarantined at once. I think what I said, my guess is definitely not going to be the case. This sounds a bit more insane. SB9A1 comprises of 2 parts. -1 is a steel film canister dating from the late 1920s with signs of damage concomitant with its apparent age. It is labeled in Spanish as having been copied by the Buenos Aires cinematographic why can't I say that? Cinematography, cinematographic. What's wrong with me? Cinematographic. There we go. Laboratory. With the handwritten title 236 Metropolis. Other writing on the label is too worn to read, but appears to be a name and a short note in a different handwriting. Inside the canister is -2, a reel spooled with Kodak panchromatic nitrate film. Oh my god, I remember when we learned how to like handle films, like how to like take the film reel out without damaging the film and then putting a new set of film in it. Man, good times. For my class, or at least from the half of the group, because our groups were divided into halves. Like there was group A and group B, and I was in group A, and we were like 13 people in group A. From the entirety of 13 people, I was the second fastest of reloading that film canister. It was between me and Francesca. Frankie. I miss her. I miss Frankie. I remember that. Like, I think she was like a second faster than I was. It was like really close. Inside the canister is dashed. God damn it. Inside the canister is -2, a reel spooled by Kodak panoramic nitrate film, on which is a 16mm reductive negative of the 1927 Fritz Lang film Metropolis. The film in the canisters was found in show no unusual markings or indication that they are planning any other than a mass-produced stock for distribution to cinemas in the late 1920s. I'm pretty sure I watched Metropolis. Yes. I watched this. It's really well done. Like for the 1927, like the scene, like just the scenery was really well done. A lot of it was probably drawn and then used as a background. Yeah, you can see like this. It's just very German. What's it called again? German expressionism. Yeah, German expressionists. There we go. Yeah, very much so. When both components of SB9. I mean, during that time, German expressionism was like the big thing. It was the genre of the films, so it makes sense that Metropolis also was one. Oh, God, my nose is. My nose is not giving me an easy time right now. It's like itchy every time I want to read. When both components of SB9A1 are placed in proximity to another audiovisual storage medium containing a feature film, the data held onto the secondary medium shows alteration not in accordance with any previously known form of the film. Qualitative testing showed that any time spent within 1.93 meters of the canister is required for effects to show on the test media. When the film is removed from the canister, neither component produces the anomaly. Tests on abstract or animated films featuring no live-action actors has proved to have no effect. I'm so sorry. This is not usually how it happens. I mean, the allergies is just the way it is. But I feel like since I ate that green chili and pepper pizza, it's a bit more brutal than usual. At least the allergies this year is like the weakest it has ever been in my life, so it does feel like it's slowly but surely leaving my body. The canister was seized from the museum by 2 agents of the Foundation posing as officers of GCG9, stating that the film's contents were evidence. It was secured in its current site and carefully examined by comparing it to the 2010 restoration edition. The film's ending featured an extra scene approximately 40 seconds long, which was cut between the robot Maria being burned at the stake and the final cathedral scene. Yeah. It features Fröhlich's character Freda walking through an alleyway and finding the end walled off with a white wooden door. By the way, Fröhlich is German for happy. Just so you guys know. He experiences some surprise at the exit being blocked, but opens the door and walks through. Then follows a text plate reading, "My lord, I'm near the cathedral." And the film then continues as normal. The door shows similar properties to SCP-249. Well, my god, I'm being fucking tortured by my nose. It wants to sneeze so bad, but it doesn't do it. The random door. What was it again? It's a white paint door once opened. SCP-299 is connects to another random. That's supposed to be 249. Connects to another random door somewhere in the world. If SCP-249 is crossed, it will bring the person to the door connected with. Yes. I remember reading this and I was like, oh, it's the Monsters Inc. door. I remember now. Yeah. Okay. So that. Okay. So it has similar properties, but it's not the same door though. Okay, gotcha. Both elements of the SCP were discovered on by a Foundation employee at the Deutsche Kinemathek Film Museum in Berlin during an unofficial visit following a meeting with the museum's owner regarding the purchase of storage equipment. During a conversation with a curator regarding storage techniques, it became apparent that the print was found in close proximity of the original site of the incident in. The curator described it having been found on a shelf in the basement of a building previously used as a youth hostel, resting on top of a copy of the 1931 film The Bad Sister. This had not been retained by the museum as it was believed to be a modern hoax, as Bette Davis' character was seen in the final reel of the film to violently assault the character played by Sidney Fox at knife point. Ooh. Okay, taken from the interview 981-A1 with Agent. Okay, here we go. What did they do with it? He said that they disposed of the last 10 minutes and used the rest for restoration practice. I asked if they still had it, but he said it had been burned. He said it wasn't worth keeping, disgusting filth like that, and suggested that it had been put there by youth staying at the hostel for a prank. Did he describe what it had been on the tape? He said it was the same as the original up and until the point where Davis' character is normally positioned by her sister's fiance. Instead, she goes through a desk drawer until she finds a piece of white rock sharpened at one end like a piece of flint, and is seen breaking into her sister's room and making hundreds of tiny cuts all over the body while smothering her with a pillow. The next shot is of an unharmed Sidney Fox leaving the room and smiling at the camera as the screen fades to the credits. Are you sure he said white? Because the description matches SCP-034, which 034, that is one of the fucking. That's what 2 years ago when I read that one. Yeah, the obsidian ritual knife. Yes, where you. Yeah. If you summon cuts of skin from another living human, with the former will take. Yeah. That. Yes. So he's saying that flint knife that she used is the obsidian ritual knife. She cut Sidney Fox and got a little bit of the meat and then became Sidney Fox, and that's why the next shot is of unharmed Sidney Fox leaving the room and smiling at the camera. It's actually Davis' character who transformed into Sidney Fox, which, by the way, that idea is kind of creepy. It's very uncanny valley idea, because I know they become the person. Like, I know it's like if someone cuts off a piece of skin from another living human, the former would take on the physical appearance of the latter. I know they should become of it, but I don't know why the idea that he might smile in a way that's like wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like every person has a unique smile, and I feel like part of like shapeshifting or skinwalkers, anything like that. I feel like if they try to smile the way that you normally would smile, I feel like it should naturally be a bit off. I personally feel that. So that's why I imagine like why it has this uncanny valley feel, because like it's like, yeah, it's them, it's the same person, but then like the way they smile, you just go like, something's off. But yeah, yes, he stated it was white. So 34 parts. So 34 is part of a set. Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Now we know that the obsidian knife has brothers. it has more. Further experimentation was performed on the strict criteria that any media showing evidence of memetic or visually dangerous SCPs be immediately placed under full security control pending destruction, and that the media will be viewed by a member of D-Class personnel under observation by a level 1 guard. The content of the film will be fully described to the guard, who is under orders to cease playback and or terminate the D-Class viewer if it is decided it is unavoidable. Now we have some experiment logs. Experiment 1A. Media, It's a Wonderful Life, 1946. Celluloid film, now designated -A. Divergence time. Instead of stating that every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings. Oh, such a good quote. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings. The character of Clarence pats Jimmy Stewart on the back and says, "It's only 8 seconds. It's hardly hurt a bit." Instead of running back to Bedford Falls, Stewart's character enters what appears to be a Maya impairment, where he spends 3 minutes running from room to room until he finds a room which has a slight green hue despite the black and white film stock. There is tiny writing all over the walls. He picks up a small rock and starts scratching out sections of the text, and with each scratch, the room shakes and dust falls from the ceiling as if from a seismic event. He continues scratching as the screen fades to end credits. I think I know why this got a low rating. It's because majority of the people that read this SCP probably did not see these movies. So the idea that this extra added scene that's kind of paranormal and unsettling, for me it's pretty dope. For me that's pretty awesome. I think that's a really cool idea to take a movie that is especially from the German Expressionism movie, where a lot of things are meant to be more exaggerated. So seeing a thing like that where the ending is completely different, and just it's just, again, it's this unsettling feeling to it. I like that. A frame from the 1927 film College, starring Buster Keaton, of course. Shortly after this shot, Keaton throws the bucket over the 2 actors, covering them in the black viscous liquid. He then breaks down weeping before they're expunged. Experiment 1B. The Dark Knight 2008 DVD, now designated -C. Okay, here we have a movie that most people have seen. Let's see how this is different. Film runs minutes shorter due to missing scene. It runs shorter, you say? Then why are you here? I mean, it's not Dark Knight Returns. Rises. Yeah, Rises. I know, but it's still, I just love doing Bane's voice.
The scene where Heath Ledger's Joker is hanging upside down, having been cut by Batman, runs as in the original theatrical edit. By the end, Ledger looks directly at the camera and says,
You don't realize, do you? 2000, you haven't even started.
He then pulls out a bright blue, and the knife runs the. Oh god, man! Oh god! Okay, I'm gonna blow my nose. Hey, there it is. Finally. Oh, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You're right. I did skip B. That was an accident. And thank you for the blessing. Help us fight for freedom. Gesundheit. Thank you again. Yeah, let's go back to B. I accidentally went to Z. Oops. So, Experiment 1B. Manos, The Hands of Fate, 1966. VHS, now designated -B. During the moment when the master confronts Michael, instead of finding Michael and his family hiding in a room they all expunged, the master drops onto his knees and begins praying at an area of the room just outside the scope of the camera, just before the screen fades to black. The area around the master darkens as if by the negative spotlight, and he cries. It's just as I expected before falling to one side, blood streaming from his eyes and nose as the film fades to credits. Okay, now let's go back to here. I'll reread it again as Bane because it's fun.
Oh, the scene where Heath Ledger's Joker is hanging upside down, having been cut by Batman, runs as in the original theatrical edit. But at the end, Ledger looks directly at the camera and says,
You don't realize, do you? 2000. You haven't even started.
He then pulls out a bright blue and a knife, runs the blade across his throat, and dips the in his blood. He then becomes gradually transparent and fades from view as Christian Bale closing speech originally used at the end of the film leads into the new credits, which lists every cast and crew member's name as you
haven't even started.
Oh, that ain't creepy at all. Hey, little counter looks. How are you doing? Oh my god. Allergies suck. And then the aside from the clear danger that this SCP poses to the security of the Foundation records, it clearly has the ability to transfer evidence of clearly undiscovered SCPs. As a research tool, its potential is great, and a qualitative system of testing must be established. The careful use of this could be of great benefit to the Foundation, but to reiterate, any media found to contain evidence of recognized or potential mimetic or Keter-class SCPs must be quarantined at once, and no contact with other media based on base SCPs should be attempted with highest level of approval. Okay. So, all those SCPs that, all the things that happen in those films have other SCPs. That is pretty nose payback for all the squishing as well. Yeah, I know. I was doing this and my nose was like, oh hell yeah, you want to keep trying, but well, on the one hand I feel fine, on the other hand a bit disappointed. Why are you disappointed? What happened? I assume it has something to do with your studies. The Chicago Loop. Okay, some of these titles are making it really tough to like guess what it could be. I don't think it has anything to do with like. What if it's like I don't know. What if it's a dimensional manipulation of space where people would walk straight forward, and just like in some games like Pac-Man for example, when you walk to the end of that space, you're suddenly on the other side where you started. So you're just like you just walk, and then there's like, I don't know, like a tree here. You walk past the tree, and suddenly you're back at the beginning of the park, and you like walk, tree, back at the beginning of the park. Well, maybe that's what it is. That's just honestly simple guess. There could be anything now. Well, okay. Deutsch-Test von 15 Punkten habe 0.15 bekommen, weil ich gespickt habe. Oh, you girl. Why did you cheat? You should have known not to do that from the beginning. I mean, I'm sorry that like you didn't pass the test. I know how important it was to you, but that was also not smart. I'm guessing they mean the city, not the Chicago pizza brand. Not the Chicago pizza brand, maybe? Who knows? It's the third save. And this is the highest rating so far, I believe. Pretty sure the first one was a bit lower. Wait, right? Wasn't it like 202? 207. Yeah, a bit lower, but not by much. Luxembourg, listen. I understand how you are disappointed because you wanted to get really good grades. You needed that for yourself, and I know how important it is to you. But I have to be brutally honest with you. The fact dass du gespickt hast, war einfach nicht eine kluge Idee. Es war nicht klug. Ich musste eine Aufgabe machen über den Text, aber habe den Text nicht verstanden. Somit bin ich auch auf Internet gegangen, habe mir Sachen von dort kopiert und als fertige Aufgabe geschickt. I mean, vielleicht wäre es besser gewesen, hättest du einfach die Aufgabe übersetzt und dann oder einfach gefragt, was die Aufgabe wäre, anstatt dass du einfach, weil wir haben von meiner Schule immer gelernt, dass Plagiarism keine gute Idee ist. Das sollst du nie machen. Yeah, like he basically plagiarized by like copying somebody else's words and text. So, because at the end, like there are so many apps and programs nowadays that they let like they let your text be scanned, and if there's any online similarities, it will find it. That's what we had in high school. We had like at the end of my high school and beginning and during my college time, they send that through a fucking scanner to see if any of the sentences are like copy pasted from somebody else. So yeah, you should not have done that. I don't want to be mean or rude to you, Luxembourg. Like I really care for you, and I care that you want to like absolutely win this test. But I have to be the older brother here in this situation, older father in this situation. Be like, yeah, what do you expect? I have to just be direct with you. Sadly, that was not a smart move. What you can do is ask if you can do another task, and this time not do that. Maybe even do it while being supervised. If you do it, if you ask for that, they might give you another chance, and maybe you can get your grades up. So the third save, SB982 is to be kept in a negative pressure climate controlled facility and must remain closed and bolted except during approved exploration. A perpetual chronometer is to be mounted on a wall alongside SB982, counting down an interval of 26 hours and 15 minutes. SB982 must be closed no later than 0 hours, 1 minute, 30 seconds, regardless of whether all exploration team members have emerged. All exploration team members must receive dialect coaching and full spectrum vaccination before entering SB982 and undergo decontamination upon emerging. Items extracted from SB982 are to be considered potential biohazards and contained as such. Im Moment habe ich genau 30 von 60 Moyen im Jahr. Ich muss jetzt nur noch in der nächsten Prüfung 30 von 60 machen und habe dann mein Jahr geparkt im Deutschen. Okay, so there's still a chance. Du hast immer noch eine Chance. Okay, das ist gut. Aber wie gesagt, vielleicht solltest du noch mal nachfragen, ob du vielleicht eine zweite Auftrag kriegen kannst, wo du dann von einem Lehrer bewacht wirst. Und die Auftrag ist entweder das gleiche, also nicht wortwörtlich das gleiche, einfach ähnlich. Es ist ähnlich. Oder ein bisschen anders oder ganz anders. Und du machst dann den Auftrag, ohne dass du spickst. Nein, die Geile ist, eine 60-Jährige habe sogar gefragt, aber war leider, sie hat also nicht, sie wollte es nicht für dich machen. Okay, sie wollte, what's rejected? Declined, yeah, what's that in German again? I forgot. Es tut mir leid, aber ja. Ich meine, solange du noch eine Chance hast, dann vielleicht lass dir das nicht zu sehr am Herz liegen. einfach weiter versuchen und nicht, mach den gleichen Fehler nicht nochmal, einfach nicht spicken. Oder wenn du was nachschaust, dann versuch es in deine eigenen Wörter zu schreiben, anstatt dass du es kopierst. So, sorry Charlotte, I'm very sorry, I know I'm speaking a whole different language here. Let's go on. SB982 is an antique casement window recovered from a Marshall College and... Them again! Auction originally taken from the abandoned business offices of a 19th century patent attorney in Chicago. Is that supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know my states. I'm not from there. No matter where it is mounted, SB982 opens onto the street outside third story office as it was between 8:30 a.m. and on Friday, March 26, 1875 and 10:45 a.m. on Saturday, March 27th, 1875. Personnel exiting this window and find themselves in what is apparently 1875 Chicago. However, at the end of the 26-hour interval, the city resets. Any external object or personnel within the city at the time are lost. So it's not a loop as in like the thing I said where like this, you will end up going in an actual loop. It's a loop of space and time that's in a specific area. So kind of, yeah, okay, I see. So it's not a literal loop. It's a time loop, basically. The size of the area accessible via SB982 is not known. Exploration teams have been able to send telegrams to in England and receive responses. By the way, I feel like my webcam is a bit too low. There we go. If you're gonna follow the Afrofluff, of course the Afro has to actually be on the shot. Exiting 1875 must be done by climbing back through SB982 from the outside. Attempts to access SB982 from within the offices of reveal only an ordinary window. Exploration teams are advised that the Chicago police in 1875 react with hostility towards the use of the grappling guns and rope ladders to re-enter SB982. Since all chains are eliminated at the reset, the use of lethal force is fully sanctioned with no risk to the timelines. Kann aber noch plus 2 kriegen, dann habe ich immer meine Hausaufgaben gemacht und bin nie zu spät gekommen. Okay, nice. Now, not to be not to make you do anything that you don't want to, Luxembourg, but we do have people here that speak English. So just for them, for their sake, let's switch back to English for a little bit, okay? Because it is kind of unfair for them to have this massive block of German text that they cannot read. Because maybe they have some advice for you as well. They want to cheer you on. Like, I understand why you want to speak German to me, because it helps you practice German. That's fully fine. But like, it does kind of exclude everybody else who doesn't speak German. Der einzige negative Punkt wäre, dass ich nicht mitarbeite. Okay. You don't have to be sorry. It's fine. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying it's kind of unfair to everybody else that they just because they probably are curious what the hell is being said, and kind of just just kind of excludes them a little bit. So I just want to throw that out there. You can still do it. You can still do it here and there, but maybe not like multiple paragraphs. Where was I? The size of the area accessible via SB982 is not known. Exploration teams have been able to send telegrams. Yeah, I already read that. Okay. As a result of incident 982-215/74, an altercation with Chicago police officers and SB982 has been found to be bulletproof on the 1875 side. Communicate however you feel comfortable. exactly. I don't want like what are you reading actually? Reading the SCP Foundation. I think you were here. That's the first stream that you popped in was when I was reading the SCP Foundation, but you were busy giving me riddles, so maybe you didn't pay much attention now, did you? You were kind of busy trying to make my brain work while I was reading. I remember. Don't think I didn't. You came in at around like SCP 870 or something. Gave me all the riddles from the Batman movie while I was reading. I see how much you pay attention to my stream now. I see. Okay. The Afro will remember that. The use of the SCP-982 as a source of D-class personnel is deprecated due to the possibility of cross-SCP contamination. Thus far, all attempts to locate... No. Charlotte, you answered this riddle for me. Like, literally, every time Luxembourg comes on, she gives me a riddle. And sometimes I'm just like, God, my brain's already packed with words. I don't have the capability to think more. A book. Touché. Touché. Thus far, all attempts to locate either alive or dead have failed. Other occupants of the building reports last seeing in the afternoon of Thursday, March 25th, 1875. Beggars and street vendors report not having noticed him leave the premises. His neighbors did not see him return to his home on the evening of the 25th, nor did they see him leave his home on the morning of the 26th. His secretary reports that the last client of the day on Thursday was a peculiar unwashed man with some odd accent that sounded Polack, but is unable to provide a more detailed description. The client had arrived without an appointment or a visiting card. Exploration missions begin after SCP-982's internal chronology has reached Friday evening report that does not show up for work on Friday, nor does he return to his home. Oh no, don't throw me into this. You're the one streaming. I'm just saying. It ain't easy having to read entire novels worth of information and doing riddles in the same time. I was only lucky last time when she did this because she gave me riddles I already known. Okay. So yeah, the Chicago loop is basically a certain time that's stuck behind a window, and you can visit it. It's kind of interesting how it's 26 hours and not 24 hours. The birthday monkey. Okay, what could a birthday monkey be all about? Maybe it's like a magic monkey that just pops up when it's your birthday. It's my birthday! It's my birthday! But what does that mean, SCP? Is it Secure Copy Protocol? No, it's Secure, Contain, Protect. So the SCP Foundation, which is this page right here. Hey, nice. SCP Foundation. It's a fictional world where a bunch of scientists try to secure, contain, protect weird anomalies, and they can be anything. They can be humans, they can be an object, they can be an animal, they can be a plant, they can be a concept, they can be a planet, they can be minerals, they can be a beast, urban legends. What else can it be? Anything radioactive. So anything like that. It can be anything like that, but they work in a very abnormal way, and some of them are like more dangerous than others. So this foundation secures them from wherever they are, brings them to contain them at the foundation site, and protects humans from them. So they do a bunch of tests to see how they work. Some of the SCPs, they don't do anything. They don't do anything dangerous, but they still do a couple tests just to make sure. And then like they will be considered safe, because safe means that you either either they don't do anything bad, or you have to have a specific way to trigger the effect, and if you don't do it, you're fine. Then there's Euclid, which means that it's a bit more dangerous, a bit more risky. There's maybe some stuff untested so far, and sometimes they can even escape containment. Then there's Keter, and Keter basically means if we fuck around by pure accident, if we do something wrong, there's a high possibility that a lot of people will get in danger, or that it can also just break out really easily. That's what SCPs are, and also of course there's the SCP Foundation, and there's the Marshall, Colin, and Doug, which is a group of people that just create SCPs just for the fuck of it. They just do it. They're just like, yeah, why not, huh? And most of the SCPs they create are kind of a bit, they're kind of a bit dangerous. And then there's Dr. Wondertainment, who does a lot of like children's toys or animatronics, which are a bit weird. Thanks for the explanation, but still didn't understand. So imagine like, okay, so imagine like you have a phone. You have a phone, right? Now, a phone normally works like this. You can call people, you can text people, you can look up the internet, right? That's how a phone is supposed to work. But now imagine when every 5th time that you call somebody, that person vanishes from the earth. That's not something a phone is supposed to do. And that's what an SCP is. It takes something that's usually normal, or maybe not even normal at all to begin with, and makes it, and it's just weird. Now, I would say an SCP, a phone SCP that makes people vanish every time you call somebody 6 times would be considered safe, because you actually have to call somebody, right? So that would be something that's would be considered safe as an SCP. It's an abnormality. It's not normal, but it is considered safe. Now, let's take that phone example again. Let's say this time the phone automatically turns itself on and then picks somebody random to call, and whenever they pick up, they fall unconscious, right? So that's again phone abnormality. It's an abnormal phone. It goes on by itself, calls somebody by itself, and then when somebody picks it up, they faint. That would be considered Euclid, not safe, because it's something that they don't have control. You don't have control over that. Calling somebody on purpose, you have control over that. That's why it's safe. But if the phone itself does it by itself, that would be more dangerous, so it would be more Euclid, correct? At the end, the things that are happening with it is not that bad. It's a person fainting. It's still a bit weird because it's just calls by itself, and it can be dangerous for people. But I would say that's Euclid. Now, last phone example. Let's just say this phone, a specific phone, whenever the specific phone, it drains the energy out of everything within 500 meters, and then explodes in a radius of 1 kilometer, but it doesn't get destroyed. That's Keter. That is Keter because it's doing something that affects multiple people and puts multiple people in danger. It's a small bomb that always can be activated again as long as there is energy around. That's what a Keter SCP would be. Whew. Those were just a couple examples. I hope that makes sense. And that's basically what all these stuff are. They're all different things, different effects, different ways to contain them. Whew. Let me continue now, otherwise I'm going to be here all night. The birthday monkey. So again, I think it's a monkey that just fucking pops up when you have your birthday. Like, you just be like, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
And you'd be like, what the fuck? And then it's just a fucking monkey in your cake. And you'd be like, what? So if I understand, the SCP command handles the file transfer and secure shell encrypts the session, right? What? So if I understand, the SCP command handles the file transfer and I mean, SCP is just like it's just a thing that they call the weird creatures, basically. That's just a name for them. The Foundation is the one that just writes down what those things do. So these files right here are basically written by the Foundation. I'm saying this because it's you know, not real. It's fiction. So all the researchers are basically the ones writing these notes, and we are just like hacking, basically. God, there's another save. Okay, that's the 4th save in a row. SB 983 is completely safe so long as technicians handling it do so on any day other than their birthday. Should SCP-983 be presented to or handled by any individual on the yearly anniversary of their birth, they should immediately follow the sing-along guidelines contained in the emergency kit 135 are located next to the door to SCP-983's containment chamber. In the event the targeted individual fails to meet sing-along requirements, oh god, you actually have to sing to this thing. I wasn't even kidding. So I guess that I was right with like you have to sing, and if you sing and while you sing, it's monkey just fucking just appears out of nowhere. Maybe, who knows? Let's see here. In the event the targeted individual meets the sing-along requirements, the following pieces of data are to be collected: age, color of candy collected, singing accuracy obtaining by the best judgment of those present, and the number of verses that passes before acknowledgement by SB-983. No candy obtained from SB-983 is to be consumed by any staff without senior staff approved containment procedures in place and written waivers filed and stamped by the consumer. This requirement is waived in the case of Class D candy testing. You gotta give the shit candy? You gotta give the monkey candy? SB-983 is a vintage mechanical monkey. It's not even real! It's a machine! With faded date located on the bottom of the left foot, placing its manufacture at some point in the 1940s by an unknown person or company. The monkey is dressed in the remains of what used to be a popular vest design for circus ringmasters. Oh, is it one of those like the symbol monkeys? You know, like is it one of these? How do you spell symbol? Is it symbol monkey? Yeah, is it one of these things? Oh god, that's fucking creepy as shit. Imagine seeing that in your household. So what we have in the monkeys, in the monkey's left hand, there's a lightly tarnished brass bell. In the right hand, the monkey holds a small brass striking rod. So yeah, it's kind of like the symbol, but except with like a bell. So the monkey will be like ding ding ding. Okay, gotcha. The monkey is capable of emitting speech and sound, although examination of the object has revealed no seams, screws, or openings that would indicate a method of disassembly. That's a big bag of no. It is a big bag of no. Like, if I saw that, imagine that. Like, if I were to like fucking walk into this house, into this room, just walk in here, and that thing was like right in that corner, right there, I'd be like. And then immediately, dash. As fast as I could. I couldn't dash. I couldn't turn around and run because there's a bunch of cables on the ground, so I didn't want to trip and kill myself. But yeah. SCP-983 is completely harmless and inert under most circumstances and may be handled without special precaution, so long as the handler is not experiencing the 24-hour period considering the anniversary of their birth. I mean, yeah, I assumed it was harmless. It is considered safe, but go on. Once SCP-983 physically comes into contact with an individual on their birthday, it will spring to life and do a single backflip before raising its bell and singing a simple song. A ring-a-ding-ding, it's your birthday! The single verse will be followed by the monkey striking its bell, producing a tone that varies in pitch from quite high to rather low. SB-983's singing was found to vary slightly in pitch as well, but maintained a very excited and happy tone. SB-983 will sing the song once every 3 to 4 seconds, pausing only to ring its bell until sorry, the chili. Until the new owner has died. Oh, whoa. Let me read that again. SCP-983 will sing the song once every 3 to 4 seconds, pausing only to ring its bell until the new owner has died or met the sing-along requirements, which as of yet are not completely understood, but are believed to be based in timing the sing-along properly with SCP-983. Oh god. Okay, so you actually have to be like, you have to have some rhythm inside your body. Rhythm, timing, and well, you have to know the lyrics. Otherwise, this monkey will fuck your shit up. SCP-9, each verse sung by SCP-983 appears to age the owner of the item by what is estimated at 1 year. By singing along with SCP-983, the owner may deactivate the monkey, which, once done successfully, results in a triumphant declaration of birthday from SCP-983, at which time it will ring its bell once and produce a single gumdrop-style candy from the bell. That's very kind of you, SCP-983. Thanks for making me age 5 times faster than I was before. The approach of singing along with SCP-983 has a direct impact on the color of the candy and the side effects of its consumption. Test group instructed to follow document 135R to the letter have verified that a perfect sing-along results in the production of crystal clear candy with mildly luminescent qualities. God damn, he also fucking rates your singing. Not only does he make you age faster, he also sometimes gives you like a shit candy if you didn't do well enough. Imagine that. Imagine you're trying to sing along and he's like, oh yeah, here you go. And he gives you the most brown candy ever and it just tastes horrible. A near perfect sing-along produces the same candy minus the luminescence. Both of these candy types have been verified as restoring any age lost by the consumer due to SCP-983's song. However, the luminescent candy may also grant additional time and youth. Though as of yet, this theory is unproven due to the low production rate of this candy. Okay, so maybe that would not be too bad. You get all the years back, and maybe you'll get. I mean, I don't want to live longer, to be honest. Like, okay, I feel like 80 is like a good age for me to be like, yeah, that's it. But it's not immortality that he gives you. I personally don't like the idea of being immortal. I think that's like a thing where like you lose your humanity if you are immortal, because like you witness so many people that you care about die and pass away that after a while you probably are more or less guaranteed to like to lose your emotions over that. You just kind of get like desensitized from it. You just go like, yeah, okay. And then at the end, you also don't want to make new friends because like you'd be like, I mean, I think Omni-Man made like it was like the clearest vision of that, like where he didn't even realize that like 10 years have passed since he has known his wife. I mean, more of course because he has a teenage son, but like for him, 10 years felt like a year. So I feel like being immortal does that to you, where you just lose track of time so much that like 5 years is like a 5-day thing for you at the end. So you're still like, oh, was it really 5 years? Damn, I didn't realize. I'll go with that is way too young. That would mean I would die in 4 years. No, thank you. Eternal life is nothing without eternal youth. Yeah, I mean, I understand that logic, but again, I don't wanna witness a bunch of people die and then get desensitized by it. I don't want to lose the feeling of caring for people and losing the feeling of time. I also don't want to be around when the fucking earth explodes. That's also a thing. I don't want to be around when that happens. Although by that time, I'm pretty sure we have the technology to travel to different planets without a problem. But I don't know how I would feel if I don't give two shits about the planet I was raised in not existing anymore. 30 is only 2 years and 1 month for me. See, like, yeah, no, thank you. That's way too young. we can tell. Can you tell who from us is in like the later half of the 20s and who isn't? Due to the inconsistency in attitude, tone, and behavior, and approach when trying to match SB983's song, a wide variety of candies have been produced. Under absolutely no circumstances are black candies allowed to be consumed, although other colors may be consumed pending prior approval and containment arrangements. Now, what's wrong with the black candy? I mean, to be honest, if it's like licorice taste, I wouldn't eat it either. I don't like licorice. Black licorice sucks. The initial activation of SB983 was in highly uncontrolled environments where a retelling is the best record available of the incident. Subsequent tests of interest in more controlled environments have been attached to this document, as well as candy effects for those experiments. Yeah, for me, 12 years, 8 months, 13 days, 40 minutes, and yeah, see, okay, you didn't have to be that exact with the numbers. You guys just said 12 years and 8 months. But yeah, see, like, you can tell, like, me and Charlotte, we'd be like, no, why would we want to die at 30? That's way too young. I still want to do so much stuff. SB983 first activation. Okay, SB983 was purchased from a local flea market, intended as a gift for monkey admirers, a joke. The seller of the monkey warned the purchaser that it was to be seen and never touched by anyone on the day of their birth, but was unable to give exact reasons why, stating that it was a warning passed to them that was well observed and may have been gypsy legend or some other bull. Upon the birthday of SB983's intended new owner, the gift was unwrapped and the monkey handled, at which point it sprang into a song. Staff attending the birthday party of the co-worker were amused, as was the recipient at first. However, witnesses state the recipient became more and more agitated the longer the monkey sang. Of course, it's singing non-stop for 24 hours. After 10 estimated verses, the recipient tried to find a way to turn the device off, to no avail. Attendees state that at this time several persons noticed streaks of silver within the recipient's hair. Following an estimated 8 to 10 more verses from SCP-983, the gray was quite pronounced, as were signs of wrinkling or stress on the recipient's face. Within 5 more verses, the recipient returned the monkey to rest and complained of not having the strength to deal with this nonsense, pleading for someone to turn it off. With SCP-983 not being fully realized as a potentially dangerous object, there was a panic and sloth in the reactions of the attending staff, which led to SCP-983 being able to complete what can only be estimated at the 30 or perhaps 40 more words before containment crew could arrive at the party local. By this point, the recipient had long since been expired due to aging, leaving only a skeletal frame remaining in his chair with the skin clinging to it. Oof. Oof. Okay, 2 years, 1 month, and 18 days to be partly exact. Yeah. What's your job? Are you still studying? No, I finished studying like 4 years ago. I'm a filmmaker. Which, I'm pretty sure I told you the first time you joined my stream, girl. Do you not care about me at all? With confusion on how to approach SCP-983 safely, it was allowed to sing for roughly another minute before it ceased of its own accord, at which... Oh, Charlotte. Question for me, mate. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll leave. I'll leave. I see how it is. Yeah. With confusion how to approach SCP-983 safely, was allowed to sing for roughly another minute. Do I have my crying emote on here already, or I do not yet? I have to wait till I have my follower emotes unlocked, and I can add the crying emote, because I would have definitely done that as a joke. It was allowed to sing for roughly another minute before it ceased of its own accord, at which point nothing remained of the original recipient other than its purely skeletal remains. SB-983's final verse consisted of the single word "birthday," which he pronounced joyously before doing a single backflip and ring its bell once. From the bell fell a single candy resembling a gumdrop, pure black in color, so that means you didn't do it right. This candy was never consumed and was described as being immortally entrancing, drawing a person's gaze into it, until an outside source distracted them. With a number of individuals at the scene and the general chaos involving the incident, no single person was able to become too focused on the candy and was safely contained. SB-983 controlled activation. We're listening, I promise. It's fine. I mean, even like, if you didn't listen, that's fine. I'm not expecting people to memorize everything about me to begin with. Like, if at the end, as a streamer, you're probably going. I have to go get the same questions over and over again anyway. So I know that some people will either A, not memorize it, B, not hear it, or C, just not know it. So it's fully fine. During test 32 regarding SB-983, one test subject volunteered for testing as her birthday approached, and she displayed qualities unique in comparison to previous test subjects, specifically an exceptionally upbeat and excited approach to her birthday. Is referred to as the subject for the remainder of this test. Okay, the subject. How about you show me what you got? Without explanation as to what to expect, the subject was given SB-983 as a wrapped present with the prior warning that the subject sings, and it would make it for a great birthday video if you were to sing along with it. The subject displayed glee and acceptance of SB-983 as a suitable gift when it was unwrapped, and required no guidance in singing along with the object as it began. The subject went above and beyond in the same requirements, missing only the first verse to get words and picking up immediately at the second and continuing for a total of 45 verses for a total of 46 completed. During the singing process, the subject displayed the expected aging process with each verse that passed, but displayed no loss of energy or enthusiasm in continuing the songs till their end. The subject remained completely unaware of their body physical state throughout the experiment. Upon completion of the final verse, SB-983 announced the finale as expected, with stating "birthday" loudly and performing a single backflip followed by a ringing of its bell. The candy produced from the bell was recorded as being a vibrant white color with vaguely luminescent properties. The subject noted it was the most beautiful confectionery that they had ever seen, and observing staff also noted admiration for the gumdrop. In keeping with the control of the experiment, the subject was allowed to consume the candy. What is the Henry button? The 500 points? What did I write down here? The 5,000 points is that Henry has to be on my lap. So this is usually, if I were to like play a game, it would make it more difficult for me to play because like he's like on here. So that's the Henry one, because that guy is Henry right here. that is Henry right there. Look at him. But you gotta get those 5,000 points. Upon finishing the candy and following a 1 hour period of monitoring, there was no indication that any side effect occurred from consumption. With the experiment about to be declared finished, the subject asked to leave and was excused from the testing area, at which point he exploded with blinding light that damaged the cameras monitoring the experiment and left all attendees blind for 5 minutes following the burst. Jesus. Assisting personnel who rushed to the scene described a faint, lingering light that remained for at least 2 minutes in the place where the subject stood before it faded out. Charlotte, are you from Switzerland too? Because I have a feeling that you're French. Yeah, Charlotte, where are you from? I never asked you that before. I just assumed you were from around here, from the UK. The subject has not been located since this experiment. An unusually high electromagnetic activity has been noted within the area that was used for testing. A placement of light fixture within this area has also risen approximately 70% from the norm throughout other areas of the facility. However, no decrease in lighting has been reported in any area affected by this anomaly. Damn. The birthday monkey ain't playing around. Nope, born and raised in England. Yeah, okay, I assume so. Probably because like the name Charlotte is probably originally from France, is it? A public restroom. God, SB Foundation, you gotta give me something. You gotta give me something that's a bit easier to like make theories about what it could be. I'll unlock that later. Peaky Blinders must be known though. I mean, it is a it is a British show. It is made here. Charles is the female of Charles, which is French. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Public restroom. I don't fucking know. It's a public restroom. You walk in there, you get sucked into the toilet, just like in Harry Potter. There. That's my theory. What the fuck? Save impetus? What does impetus mean? I never seen that in the SCP Foundation readings before. 157, okay. Oh, it's pretty short. The facility where, I mean, public restrooms are always scary. Yeah, I don't like public restrooms either. The facility where SCP-984 is located here by Site 48 is currently under the auspices of Company, a Foundation shell corporation. The door to SCP-984 is to remain externally locked at all times, except during experimentation, as are all stalls in SCP-984. Only Class D personnel may enter SCP-984 without protective armor and a firearm. Oh, you gotta bring the in there? Okay. No less than 3 level 0 medical personnel to be stationed at Site 48 at all times. Should SCP-984 become reactivated for any reason, the personnel must be called to SCP-984 to provide medical attention to any persons exiting SCP-984. SCP-984 is a restroom located in... Upon recovery, 3 light bulbs were found smashed. Smashing! Okay, as under normal circumstances, SCP-984 is only unusual in that it has been partially soundproof with commercially available materials. SCP-984 will only display overtly anomalous properties under the following conditions. No persons are in any open areas of SCP-984. Exactly 1 stall in SCP-984 is occupied by exactly 1 person. The door to said stall must be closed and locked. At least 1 light fixture in SCP-984 is non-functional or off. Should the above conditions be met at any time, 1 or more instances of -1 will materialize inside SCP-984 once a person exits a stall. Specimens of -1 tend to be... Okay, by the way, Luxembourg, little country Luxembourg. I just call you LCL for short. LCL. LCL, when it says something like this, SCP-984-1, that usually means that an SCP has different things that are part of it. So if, again, with the phone example, taking the phone as an example, this is, let's just say the phone, does the thing I said before, right? Where it calls somebody and they faint. But then the charger for this phone, then what it does is it always instantaneously fills up the phone to 100% in a matter of 1 second. Right? So this would be -1 and this would be -2, because together they create this weird abnormal power. So that would be why there's a -1 over there. You can call me Brian. Okay, well, Brian. I'll try to memorize that. Should the above conditions be met at any time, one or more instances of a -1 will materialize inside SCP-994 once a person exits the stall. Specimens of -1 tend to be large, highly aggressive mammals of varying species, and here it says specimens have included Canis lupus, which is, I believe, that should be wolf, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Or maybe just dog. But it is wolf, because I know my wolves! I know my fucking wolves! I love wolves. So of course, in the moment I saw that, I was like, that's fucking wolf, because lupus is wolf. I mean, lupus is the way to like memorize it for me. I guess because of like lycanthropes and all that stuff, but yeah, lupus. And canis is like dog. But this one, Ulcus is... I ain't just gonna give you my name just like that. Ulcus is moose. You can just call me Afro. Just call me Afro. I ain't gonna give him a real name just yet. There's no need for this. That's not... A creator doesn't just give their name out. Don't you dare, Charlotte. Grizzly bear, yeah, Ursus makes sense. Ursus are... And in one case, an instance of SCP-1000. All -1 specimens disappear 9 minutes after manifestation. -1 will not willingly leave SCP-984 for any reason and will disappear if it is forced to do so. But it's highly aggressive. I was about to be like, oh, you get like a restroom pet? But then I'm like, but wait, it's highly aggressive though, so... Shit. Because I would have been down to have a wolf. But then it would also vanish after a while, so... Shame. Instances of -1 will display symptoms of and mannerisms characteristics of a mid to late stage infection of rabies. Ah. And do you think that I told you my real name? Not really, no. No, I did not think of that actually. You just gave me a name and I was like, yo, that's the name you want me to call you, so I'm just gonna call you that. Brian. However, unlike most rabid animals, the -1 will display marked hostility towards humans, particularly any person who enter SCP-984. As persons in SCP-984 are not typically prepared to handle dangerous animals, victims are often bitten several times before being able to properly defend themselves. Yeah, because nobody expects a fucking grizzly bear to pop up in the bathroom. Imagine you just go in there, do your business, you go out and you're about to wash your hands, and then you turn around and you just face first to a grizzly that's just like frothing out of their mouth, and you just like, soap. You know what I mean? Like, nobody expects that to happen. In cases where at least one specimen of -1 is particularly large or strong, it is possible for -1 to kill the victim shortly after manifesting. Of course, again, once a grizzly bear shows up, you're dead. Should the victim survive being attacked by -1, they will experience significant confusion regarding the events that transpired to SCP-984. In some cases, victims will attribute the injuries to mundane phenomena that would not normally cause said trauma. I'm sorry, I think I just got attacked by a fucking by an eagle, like a bald eagle. Dude, what do you mean? Yeah, I went to the bathroom, then walked out. Next thing you know, there's a bald eagle in the stall that I came out from. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it was just suddenly there. It attacked me, and you okay? You okay, man? Like, you seem a bit off. I mean, I don't know where it came from. Right, Afro? Yeah. I mean, Afro is just one of the many nicknames I've been given, so I just decided to go with it. Ooh, the public restroom is a fun one. That's a fun one. I like that one. Of course, it's also scary, but it's fun. So we're halfway through. Lost luggage claim. God, give me something that makes it a bit interesting for my brain to give examples. I probably won't ever get like a title that makes me go like, yes, I know what this could be. Okay, lost luggage claim. Well, welcome to the Fluff. Scrutiny SCP Comsync. Okay, that's a interesting way to introduce yourself for the first time. Okay, so lost luggage claim. Well, welcome to the Fluff, Scrutiny. Welcome to the Fluff. I hope you enjoy your stay. But I'm trying to think what the lost luggage claim could possibly be. What could it be? What could it be? I honestly am at lost for words. So, definitely has to do with, of course, the lost luggage area, like where like luggage ends up when you lose it. But what could be the anomaly about it? What could be abnormal about it? Maybe the moment your luggage goes in there, it gets fucking beepity boppity boop, and it just becomes different luggage. The luggage is different from the outside. Everything inside is different. You will never have your luggage back ever again. Never mind, it's Euclid, so it's definitely not that. It's definitely more dangerous. Euclid. Pending reclassification to safe. Reclassification denied. See Addendum 3. SB985 is to be kept under video surveillance at all times. Live feed cameras are to be placed in all 3 sections of SB985's housing, and the feeds are to be under observation by at least one Foundation employee at all times. In the event that observation fails for any period of time, on-site reserve personnel are to be activated under the area is to be placed under lockdown until containment of SB985 and any items produced by the SB is re-established. Okay, here we go. Got something on something happening here. What is going on? Oh boy. Somebody texted me something. Okay. SB985 is a conveyor baggage claim located with terminal of the International Airport. According to construction records, SB985 was installed at the same time as all other baggage claims in the terminal, and reviews of maintenance reports have failed to produce any leads regarding the unusual properties exhibited by SB985. While all sections are kept under observation, SB985 operates indistinguishably from any other baggage claim in the terminal, and the amount of electricity drawn by the machine remains relatively constant. Should one of the 3 sections of SB985 runway access, conveyor systems, or terminal access, what? Wait, what? Now you got me confuzzled, Brian. Should one of the 3 sections of these would be observed, the machine's electrical draws begin to fluctuate rapidly, though no correlation has been determined between those fluctuations and the machine's other effects. At this point, various items of luggage will begin to enter the observed portion of the machine, said items having no apparent point of entry. These items are of varying shape and size, and in some cases do not correspond to modern security requirements for luggage taken aboard airplanes. Said items will continue along the conveyor along with the original contents of the conveyor until they are either taken from the line or re-enter an unobserved section, at which point they disappear from the line and are no longer to be found. No! Not my PlayStation 5! So basically, it's lost luggage claim, as in like it's just gone. It vanished. It ceased to exist. It poof! Items of luggage produced by SB985, hereby collectively designed -1, appear to exhibit mild inhibitory effects on certain areas of the human brain. Not my brain, I need that to think. This results in a general inability to distinguish SB985-1 luggage from normal baggage or similar. Okay. Yes. But I would really appreciate if you don't throw that out there like that. I'm not sure if Charlotte told you, or if I tapped that she did that because I told her not to tell her, and I know that she wouldn't go behind my back. So I think you did your own research, but please do not just go around unless like I tell you to. Thank you. Where was I? Yeah. My brain just results in general inability to sing from normal back and similar appearance, resulting in -1 items being mistaken by airline passengers for their own belongings and withdrawn mistakenly. The effect persists upon the luggage being opened, often resulting in accidental injuries to the recipients of -1 when they attempt to make use of the contents. SB 985 was brought to the Foundation attending following the events of 19 when a piece of -1 luggage was retrieved by a businessman whose connecting flight was delayed. Upon the luggage being passed through security again before boarding the connecting flight, the presence of and electrical components as well as high levels of gamma radiation resulted in the airport being placed in a lockdown and the man being detained for questioning. Foundation agents were called to the site following the discovery of the original luggage in the unclaimed baggage area, as well as luggage belonging to several other passengers, and all of whom, when contacted, were discovered to have also mistakenly acquired -1 luggage. Okay, addendum 1. List of notable content of -1 luggage. Here we go. Okay, what do we got, Captain? We have assorted scrap metal, several sets of clothing of various styles composed of an unknown metallic fiber. On being worn, the fiber scraps against the skin of the wearer, typically causing numerous shallow cuts across the skin and heavy blood loss. Yeah. One United States Army issue M16 assault rifle, fully disassembled. One plastic water bottle containing highly compressed air. Estimated pressure 400. That KPA, I don't even know what KPA means. Models suggest that any attempt to open the bottle would result in massive injury to the would-be consumer via the resulting pressure release. One steel crowbar, one bottle of shampoo, identified by the label as brand, said brand ceased production during the late 1990s. The gel contained in the bottle includes a variety of enzymes which are capable of denaturing the proteins in human hair. Not the proteins in my hair, dude. I need it. How else do you think it tastes fluffy? 37 knives of the sort of making model.
Redacted C addendum M85-3.
Addendum 2. Results of Test A. Areas under observation, runway access, terminal access. Test protocols. Researchers attempt to feed a wireless camera concealed inside an article of -1 along the runway portion of the conveyor into the unobserved middle section. Test result. Camera ceased transmitting upon entering the unobserved portion. Pieces of the camera were later found inside an item of -1 taken from the terminal section of the conveyor, the device having apparently been destroyed via extreme blunt force. No data could be recovered from the camera's internal memory. And addendum 3, the famous one. Results of test -B. Areas under observation, conveyor system, terminal access, test protocols. Researchers fed a camera connected via 100 meters of high tensile cable to one side display from the conveyor system through terminal access and back out to the unobserved runway access, the runway having been cleared in advance of the test. Test result. Camera successfully looped around the terminal section and back into the conveyor area. As it approached the exit of the runway access area, however, the feed from the camera was noted as becoming fuzzy and suffering loss of detail. Upon exiting the observed areas, the feed abruptly cut out, but the code remained intact and continued to unreel. After approximately 5 minutes, the cable reached its maximum extent simultaneously with the introduction of the instance of -1 to the conveyor system. This instance was opened by researchers. Survivors reported sounds from inside the case as the reasons for foregoing typical precaution, releasing which caused substantial damage to the conveyor system areas and deaths of the 2 on-site personnel. Despite the scale of the event, SB985 itself was undamaged, and the remains of the were unable to be recovered. Local media outlets report a tragic mechanical failure as the source of the destruction. Plans for reclassification to safe have been scrapped. Further investigation is pending. Dr. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense there. Yeah. Faulkner's last manuscript. Faulkner's last manuscript. No, actually, let me put that. The lost luggage thing. I want to put that in. Yeah. Faulkner. What was Faulkner again? Is this the one? Faulkner's last manuscript. I have no idea what. I think if I knew Faulkner, I would have a. I mean, I know his name. I heard of his name, but I don't know his works. So, another save. So, we have one Euclid so far, and then now we're back to saves. SB986 is currently stored in an anomalous document repository of site 11. These are nice creepy things to listen to with a lightning storm outside my window. Wait. Hold on. Yeah, looks like it's the opposite for me today. When I had lightning, you didn't. This time you have lightning, I don't. I mean, so far nothing too creepy popped up, I would say. I think the creepiest out of all the ones we read so far might be, in my opinion, director's cut. Maybe, yeah. I think that's the creepiest one so far. SB986 is currently stored in the anomalous document repository of Site 11. The contents of SB986 are to be examined for changes by research staff on a weekly basis. Any changes to the contents of SB986 are to be recorded by staff after notifying the research director. A list of SB986 messages and narrative can be accessed with the permission of the research director. Oh, the monkey's going to appear in a dream or two. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, fair enough. The monkey is also kind of creepy. But I mean, the monkey just sings. But I mean, the effect is creepy, but... Okay, yeah, I know, the monkey picture that we saw moments ago, that shit. Yeah. Preference for a staff assignment is to SB986 is to be granted to personnel with an educational background in literary criticism and or cryptography. Description: SB986 is an unpublished manuscript entitled The Absent Willows, likely written by American novelist William Faulkner, so it is the one that we just looked up. The manuscript consists of 1,208 bound pages, containing an original work of fiction and a supplementary section. No references to it were made by Faulkner in any of his personal correspondence, nor has it been cited by literary scholars as being among possible unpublished works of the author. At irregular intervals, typewritten text will manifest via unknown means in the 850-page supplemental section of SB986. While the text of The Absent Willows is written in type consistent with the Underwood standard portable typewriter used throughout Faulkner's life, text appearing in the supplemental section does not match any known standard typeface. The content of the text appearing in SB986 invariably consists of a repeating 6-character format that upon initial viewing does not appear to have any understandable content. An example, GQCCKD OVNFSP QXXHAE. This text currently fills 58% of the supplemental section, with the rest comprised of blank paper. Okay, SB 986 came to the attention of the Foundation in 1964 after a representative from the Random House entrusted with the examination of Faulkner's papers attempted to sell it to a literary auction house in Luxembourg. Hey, Brian, your place. Initial analysis upon the recovery of SB 986 determined that the anomalous text manifested in... I want to check something now. Text manifested in SB 986 was a series of encrypted messages. Cryptanalysis soon recognized the pattern of the encryption as a book cipher but lacked the key. In 1972, with the use of computer-aided mathematical analysis models, the Site 11 Cryptanalysis Office identified passage in the 1942 first edition of Go Down Moses as a key to the cipher. Messages appearing in 1980, messages appearing in SB 986. I read like a year date now. Have subsequently been decoded in transcript. Okay, here we go. Research log 1. Content of SCP-986. Summary. A novel titled The Absent Willows, set primarily in rural Mississippi and taking place at 3 distinct time periods: the American Civil War, the 1910s, and the 1950s. The novel deals primarily with the experiences of members of the African American Wilfer family at the Jesperton Plantation in the fictional town of Muscogee, Mississippi. Unlike many previous Faulkner novels, this work is not set in Yoknapatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpatawpat utilize any characters from this established canon. What the fuck is that name? Okay. Part 1 of the novel relates the story of Sonny Wilfer, a slave of the Jesperson family entrusted to oversee the domestic servants of the plantation manor. During the extended absence of Cole Alphonse Jesperson due to the American Civil War and the presence of Union troops in the surrounding countryside, Sonny assumes control of the plantation and its dwindling resources. A revolt against his custodianship by both black and white field hands eventually forces Sonny to acknowledge his paternity of Thomas Suter, a mixed-race stable boy assumed to be Cole Jesperson's bastard offspring. Part 2 is a first-person narrative told by Slumber Wilfer, an elderly African-American man in the present day, the 1960s by the book chronologically. Slumber, later revealed to be Thomas Suter's grandson, relates the tale of a boyhood encounter with a traveling preacher in the woods outside of Muskogee, Mississippi. Following a cryptic extortion from the deaf preacher to look between the trees, Slumber embarks on a journey deep in the forest. After an attack by a wild boar that cost Slumber his right index finger, he passes out from blood loss, only to awaken in a clearing far into the forest interior. He is told by a hallucinatory figure that he has found his father's final resting place. Part 3 is a poetic transcription of a vision experienced by Tyrus Murty, Slumber's nephew. Tyrus, living in New Orleans as a dock worker, receives a letter from the person claiming to be his teenage daughter. Upon reading it, Tyrus retreats to his rented room in the 9th Ward shotgun house and falls into an extended reverie. Laden with metaphorical imagery and narrative that at times appears to directly address the reader, the concluding portion of The Absent Widows focuses on a woman known as Hekba and the various interludes in Tyrus' life. The novel ends with Tyrus recollecting his drowning of a female infant by a reed-filled riverbank, an event that may or may not be metaphorical within the narrative. Note: no anomalous properties are observed. Literary analysis confirms that the thematic choices and settings do not conform to any previous works. However, word choice, style, syntax, and narrative focus all indicate Faulkner's almost certainly being the author of this work. Have you seen the new season of Stranger Things? I have not. I haven't even watched the second season yet. I'm a person with TV shows, at least. With movies and anime, less so, but with TV shows, I need somebody with me to watch this stuff. I don't like watching TV shows by myself. So I watched the first season and then I wanted to watch it with somebody, but nobody did. So I end up not watching anything anymore. Pages 359 till 491. This section consists of decoded messages appearing immediately after the absent riddles. The messages of the form on an untitled narrative that is apparently a retelling of a passage from part 2 of the novel. My battery is getting low. There we go. From my Mac. It's not plugged in. That's the problem. There we go. Pages. Sorry. The section. An unspecified Native American female enters a clearing in a forest very similar to that described in part 2 of The Absent Willows. She recalls the history of her father's tribe in the region, and in particular in slaughter of her European hunting party days before her birth. After entreating an unnamed spirits to watch over her family. By the way, don't spoil, Brian. Don't spoil the seasons. I still want to watch them. Spirits to watch over her family. She conducts burial rites for her stillborn son. This narrative was decoded from the text that appeared spontaneously in SCP-986 during a period ending in 1968. Due to the early portions of the text existing prior to Foundation recovery, the starting date of this portion of the SCP-986 transmission is unknown. Okay. Pages 492 till 656. Pages 492 till 656 are an apparent autobiography of William Faulkner. Note that Faulkner did not publish an autobiography during his lifetime. Narrator, presumably William Faulkner, though at no point does the narrator identify himself by name, provides an account of the events of their life as a distinguished writer in the American South. The first 3 chapters of this narrative match known information about the early life of Faulkner. However, beginning with chapter 4, I'm going to sleep now. Take care and see ya. You too, Charlotte. Hey, sleep well. I wish you good night. And good luck with any further studies that you have to go through the next couple of days and weeks and months. However, beginning with chapter 4, major deviation from documented accounts of Faulkner's life emerged. This includes several major events not known previously to have befallen Faulkner. A 2-year commitment in Willoughby Sanatorium in Jackson, Mississippi at the age of 14 due to an unspecified mental illness. A homosexual affair with a married professor at Yale University. Scandalous. A 9-month imprisonment in a German POW camp during the First World War. A meeting with Arthur Findlay during a speaking tour in Great Britain in 1937. As the narrative continues, this is a long one. As the narrative continues, events depicted in the autobiography vary increasingly from established understanding of Faulkner's life. In the closing chapter of the book, the narrator skips significant periods of time without explanation of events in between chapters and events that appear to be completely unrelated to Faulkner's life, such as a stint as a water carrier in the Punjab, test flying an experimental aircraft, and being tried for murder, are related to the reader. Okay. Investigation by Foundation staff has determined that some events described in this narrative, such as the confinement in Willoughby Sanatorium, there's a footnote that says, Willoughby Sanatorium closed in 1939. Foundation operatives have seized all patient records related to the sanatorium and demolished the former grounds in 1978. And the meeting with Findlay did in fact occur and were never documented by official biographers, while others, the murder trial and claims of contracting a case of malaria, have proven demonstrably false. Demonstrably? The veracity of much of the narrative, however, is impossible to confirm or deny at this time. Following a long period of inactivity, the coded text comprised this section of narrative began manifesting in 1975 and continued appearing until concluding in 1982. Oh god, how much more is there? Okay, we're almost done. Pages 657 till 678. This portion of SCP-986, titled What's to be Done, in accordance with the first line of the text transmitted, is a dialogue between 2, possibly 3, nameless characters. 2 unnamed characters speak to each other for an extended period. The dialogue follows a pattern where, in the first character, will pose a question or statement followed by the phrase, "What's to be done?" The second character will offer a nonsensical solution followed by the first character asking other questions. Excerpt of the SCP-986, page 661. How would you go about convincing a friend that they need to take care of themselves too? What's to be done? Line his pockets with quarters. Make all times feel like the second time. Aunt Martha wrote me a letter today. What's to be done? Wait. Hold up. From page 669 onward, the second character will always answer the first character by suggesting an act of self-harm, example self-mutilation, a humiliating action, or some form of suicide. A possible interpretation of this development is that the second character has been replaced by a different speaker. Notes What's to Be Done was transmitted by SB 986 from 1982 to 1984. It is the first example of text transmitted by an SB 986 that conclusively does not match Faulkner's writing style. Oh. Crypt analysts currently analyzing this section for evidence of additional ciphers. Somebody else had their fingers in it. Pages 679 till 798, pages 679 to 798 represent the current narrative being transmitted by SB 986 and consists of an exegesis of the Book of Thomas the Contenter, a non-canonical document related to the biblical New Testament. The majority of this section at the present time consists of the reproduction of passages from the text of the Book of Thomas, followed by a lengthy commentary on each passage. The commentary offered in SB 986 has proven difficult to interpret, as it will often be written in poetic verse, meaningless sequence of letters resembling the original book cipher the text is decoded from, or dialogue between characters resembling those in What's to Be Done. The Book of Thomas is itself a dialogue for the most part. At page 796, the style of the section abruptly changes and is replaced with sentence fragments, usually consisting of between 1 to 3 words. As of the 11th of February 2010, this has been the modality of SB 986 transmissions. Excerpt of SB 96, page 796. The writer of this passage can't seem to make up his mind as to whether the lower self or the higher self is speaking. It's possible related to the expert in translation, a common problem among the early Gnostic scholars. What's to be done? Put it in fourth. The woe will be less. Who? These eyes. No hands. Who? Flee. Flee now. Who? No idea. No. This section has been transmitted since 1998. Since the 11th of February 2010, short bursts of between 10 and 15 characters of text have manifested in SB 986 every 36 days. Okay, ooh, that was a long. I'm gonna get myself some water to drink real quick. That was definitely a longer one. I regret looking up that goddamn monkey face. Like literally as I was walking towards the kitchen. Oh god. My room has a long hall. And I had my bathroom door open, so it was blocking the hall, so I had to close that. And it was dark, and the hall after that was also dark. And I, like, my... But yeah, as I was saying, both hallways were dark, and I hate that my brain gave me the idea of like, what if it's actually there? That fucking big ass monkey head. What if it's actually there, just waiting? Sorry, was I failing with my hydrate job? Hey, it's fine. I should hydrate for myself anyway, so... It's always waiting, don't say that. I mean, it is, but, you know. Okay. We're at the last three. Let's get this done. Gruesome gallery. Okay, what if it's a gallery that shows really brutal stuff, like it's like the painting or like is like disgustingly vulgar and brutal. And we find out that whatever the painting shows actually happened somewhere in the world. So like, majority of the gallery would, like, some of it would be empty, or the paintings change, and whatever they change to is somehow magically happening to somebody in the real life. Maybe that's an idea. It's Euclid, so it is dangerous. SB987 is currently housed at Research Site 14 in the airtight 5x12x3 meter concrete walled chamber encased in a Faraday cage. Continuous illumination is provided by conventional fixtures in the ceiling. Access is restricted to level 2 personnel or D-class personnel assigned by level 3 personnel. The chamber is to be oh god, my nose is. The chamber is to be constantly monitored remotely by thermographic and standard cameras. In the event that SCP-987-1 is not detectable by thermographic imagery, the site director and head of security are to be notified. Although it is probable that SCP-987-1 has vacated in the chamber, a containment breach alert is not to be sounded by personnel on duty unless expressly authorized by the site director or head of security. I say Dorian Gray situation for anyone who gets the reference. Okay. I don't, sadly. Dorian Gray. Wait, hold on now. The name does sound familiar, but I have to look it up now. Can I please? No, stop it. There we go. Oh, I have not seen this, so I don't know it. But it does. I remember the poster. Vaguely. Interesting. Okay. Would you say I should watch that, Charlotte? Would you say it's gonna be a good watch? Okay. Description: SCP-987 is a collection of mirrors. -A through H M, an anomalous entity. -1 that is only directly detectable by thermographic scans. -1, commonly referred to as the Curator, is an endothermic area approximately 0.5 times 0.5 times 2 meters that moves at ground levels. It drains heat in a radius that varies from 1 to 2 meters. It also has demonstrated the ability to manipulate objects up to 150 kilograms in mass at a distance up to 8 meters away. Objects manipulated at a distance of more than 2 meters are not subject to heat loss. Periodically, -1 dissipates and is undetectable for periods between 15 minutes and 1.5 hours, and there has been no record of anomalous activity during these times. It has not been confirmed that -1 actually breaches containment. When the chamber is empty of personnel, -1 moves about in no discernible pattern, passing in front of different mirrors for up to approximately 30 minutes each. The entity exhibits awareness of any personnel that enter the containment area and maintain a distance of at least 3 meters away. -1 has only aggressively reacted to those who have tampered with -A through H M in any manner other than cleaning them carefully. It's an okay film, a little on the horror side at the end. It's not Brothers Grimm, that's a fun film. Okay. I'll give both a shot. Eventually. -A through H M are mirrors of various sizes and types. 8 of them are medicine cabinets, the others are wall-mounted mirrors in various sizes and makes, the largest of which measures approximately 1 times 1.5 meters. Style and construction details indicate that all were manufactured between the 1940s and 1990s. -A through H M exhibit no anomalous characteristics other than their reflections. Although exhaustive testing has been hampered by -1, photographic imaging and video recording show a normal mirrored surface. When viewed directly, the surface of the mirror does not reflect an image of the room they are currently in, but rather show a different scene, presumably of the previous location. Edit: the original location of -C, -K, and -M were identified and confirms the aforementioned theory. See addendum log -2. The reflection of each shows a scene of a violent death of a human subject, most commonly in the bathroom. The images are not static, but rather run as a loop lasting from 48 seconds to over 4 minutes. If viewed for 2 full cycles, the images changes and the subject become aware of the viewer as if looking through a window, often soundlessly pleading for help as the scenes unfold. The aggressor also occasionally interacts with the viewer by making hostile gestures or writing on the surface of the mirror. On 5 occasions since 1990, -1 has dissipated and become unobservable as noted above. In each case, a new mirror has appeared among the others as it reforms. In some cases, the mirror were collected long after the violent incident they portray, even decades later. The latest edition, -M, appeared 2010. Ooh. So we have addendum 1, addendum 2, identifying victims. Okay, -C. Male, 62 years old, bathroom of an upscale home in, excuse me, California, 1968. Victim is bound and kneeling on the bathroom floor. A young Asian woman dressed in attire suitable for a prostitute of the time enters. Victim expires due to asphyxiation. During the third cycle, the aggressor usually stops at the mirror to reapply the lipstick and places a kiss mark on the glass while looking directly at the viewer. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's hot. No, it's not. It's definitely not. -K. Male, 34 years old, hallway of a home in Maine, 2000. Subject is standing on a ladder installing a chandelier. I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, and fall down. Break my neck. Subject loses balance and becomes entangled in a light fixture, pulling a length of electrical wiring from the ceiling. Subject is simultaneously electrocuted and strangled. During the third cycle, the subject shows various levels of apprehension when starting the task. The incident is more gruesome in nature and usually includes the discovery of the dying subject by his wife. Whoa. In this case, the mirror was observed to be missing from the home when the death was discovered. It appeared at research site 14 at approximately the time of the subject's demise. -1 had dissipated at least 15 times before the onset of the events depicted in -K. That's fucking brutal. I only have one thing to say to that. Yes. And also...
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah. -M. Female, 20 years old, bathroom of room in the hotel in New York City, 1978. Victim reacts in fear from aggressor out of view and attempts to run out of the room. Unidentified male in denim jacket stabs victim once in the abdomen and flees. Victim falls to the floor and quickly expires. During the third cycle, victim is clearly inebriated and attempts to communicate with viewer before aggressor enters. After the stabbing, aggressor proceeds to... My fantasy can make up some really dark stuff that this guy might have been doing. It's very probable, but not certain, that the presence of -A through M is primary factor in the containment of -1. In light of this, any testing that may be disruptive to -1's behavior patterns must be approved by the site director. As the Faraday shielding seems ineffective and the role played to -1 in this incident is uncertain, Dr. has requested use of technology to attempt to contain -1. This one was pretty good because it's like because the descriptions were really dark. It's a really dark one. It's a horrifying one. And also it makes me feel very like that. When an SP does that, I think that's when you're solid. When it makes you go like, oh god, yeah. Unopenable chest. Okay. So it's a chest that just doesn't get open, huh? Doesn't matter how much force you apply to it. If you shoot at it, explode it, hydraulic pressure it, it just doesn't open. I lost a subscriber, no. Probably one of the gifted subs that ran out. Oh well. It's got to have a twist to it. Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like so hard to guess the twist now. I remember when I read like stuff like the Gentleman's Lash, and I had a sort of an idea what it could be, or the Electric Polecat, Robo-Dude, the Mannequin, and all that stuff. I mean, maybe not that. There was some like Predatory Parasols, World Without Man, Poison Would Fall, and so on and so forth, where I was like, I can maybe guess what they were. But Honorable Chest, I'm just like, I guess it's just a chest that doesn't open. But yeah, there must be a twist to it. This is, I think, the highest rated one we have so far, and another save. This batch of 10 SCPs had a lot of saves right now. Like a baby cry from inside, making people fight to open it. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Some sort of noise that makes you want to open it, but you just can't. I think we had 2 Euclids and the rest was safe, so this is the 8th save. No, the 7th save. SB988 used to be housed in a locked... Jesus, all the bubbles in there. While unilluminated cell with no observable observation windows. It is to be kept in a latch state and secured with a padlock whose key is to be stored at a separate facility. No experiments of any kind are to be performed on SB988. So, if there is a key, and the key is held somewhere else, does that mean that you can actually open it? Well, let's go on. SB988 is an unopenable wooden chest. SB988 is composed of oak with iron fittings and measures approximately 1.5 times 0.5 times 0.75 meters. While SB988 possesses a latch, it did not possess a lock when discovered. The latch moves freely when not secured, and gentle manipulation of the lid has revealed it to move freely off its hinges. When SB988 is lifted and tilted on, an object can be felt to shift within it. This subject is seemingly irregular in shape and is estimated to have a mass of approximately 3 kilograms. Despite the lack of any apparent obstacle, SB988 cannot be opened. All attempts fail due to intervention of external circumstances. In the 53 documented attempts at opening SB988 directly by hand, persons have been observed to become lost on their way to its current location, suffer injury preventing them from reaching it, and in 9 cases have died spontaneously of apparent natural causes just before completing the action. Okay, that's creative. Like, it can be opened. It's just that something will always cause you to not be able to open it from the outside. The 7 documented attempts at opening SB988 via machine or other indirect mechanisms have been stopped respectively by electrical shorts, mechanical jams, and in one case the mislabeling of a bottle of epoxy as lubricant. The unopenable property appears to extend to indirect methods of scanning SB988 contents. All attempts at sonographic, electromagnetic, and passive imaging of emission outside of the visual spectrum have failed due to similar circumstances. Comparison of the result of attempts to open SB988 with actuarial tables have demonstrated that outcomes correspond to normal probability, with a single exception that the possibility of the object being open has been entirely removed. The mechanism by which SB988 prevents itself from being opened is currently unknown. What if you just throw it out of an airplane? Actually, no, don't do that. I assume if you take it up in an airplane, the airplane will just lose control and crash, and the chest will just not be opened. Never mind, don't do that. Don't listen to me. Okay. that honestly is a fun one. It's just it doesn't open because like you just something just always comes in the way. You just can't get to it. That must be so annoying because I'm pretty sure that as a foundation, you know, you're just so curious what it is inside. You're like, what is it? But you just never will know. You will never know. Never ever. Self-defense sugar. I imagine each sugar particle will fight you to not get eaten. you put that sugar in your bowl to make, to make yourself some nice. Actually, I think I saw it was a sugar shaker. Yeah, so you would want to add sugar to, I don't know, to your fruit salad, to your muesli, and so on and so forth, and then you want to eat it, but then all the sugar pieces are like going to fucking spick, just boom, 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 just right into you, just like they just fight you off. Turns you into a ninja when you ingest it. Final answer. This is my final answer. SB989 is a beast stored in a locker inside 22 until further notice. Such a locker, somebody is screaming outside, is to contain an electronic scale, which is to report the current weight of the object at all times. Any change in the weight before testing and after testing that is plus minus 1 gram beyond test materials removed is to be reported immediately. And containment breach protocols should be enacted. Level 2 clearance is required for research involving SB989 with written permission from Level 3 staff members. SB989 is a compound of C12H22O11 sucrose interlaced with a substance that with the chemical formula H7XC2O4C8. I did not do good with in chemistry, so don't even ask me what this shit means. unless it says right after like sucrose, I'm like thank you, but anything else, nah, forget it. The method by which this molecule was created is currently unknown, as is the current principles of chemistry disagree with its composition and structure. Research is ongoing. SB989 is within an ornate silver shaker with the logo of a martial card and... we just had you! This is the first time I had martial card and dog twice within the same reading session. On the bottom, hereafter referred to as -2, there are no visible seams in the shaker, and as such there is no weight known as the moment to refill as -2, though testing at this point has shown no measurable change in weight of the object, suggesting that the substance may replenish itself. This replenishing effect is only observed to occur if the object is left standing for more than 2 hours without movement. Whether this is a property of SB989 or -2 is unknown at this time, but it is hypothesized that the interaction of the second compound with the materials of -2 create this effect. Excuse me. Pardon me. When SB989 is elevated and released, SB989 enters suspension within the air. The crystal of SB989 surround whoever threw SB989 into the air and remained there for precisely 7 minutes 18 seconds. This has shown no adverse effect on the thrower so far, as SB989 will not come within 2 millimeters of the thrower even if they walk through the cloud of SB989. Oh. If any other living being enters the cloud of SB989, however, SB989 will surround the subject and force its way into the mucous membranes of the subject, causing severe laceration and coating the air with crystalline formation akin to what is colloquially known as rock candy. This is uniformly non-fatal, however, and leaves the subject blind, deaf, with moderate difficulty breathing and in severe pain. Attempts to remove the crystalline growths have been proven unsuccessful thus far. That's why it's self-defense. It literally creates a force shield around you, and whoever enters that force field, or shield, excuse me, gets attacked by sugar. And it's, gotta say, doesn't sound very pretty what happens to them. After exiting suspension the air SB989 will deposit on any horizontal surfaces until thrown again, wherein it will return to being in suspension. This effect can only occur with SB989 is dry, as a solution of SB989 in water did not show any anomalous properties. SB989 was recovered from the home of in Wales, and here in the UK, after several missing persons cases were connected to, and a possible link to Marshall Card and Dog was confirmed. Also recovered were a letter and receipt from Marshall Card and Dog Limited for the amount of to date. No other samples of SB989 have been recovered. The following is from a letter recovered from the home of to a Mr. We thank you for the purchase of this fine item. I hope you find it to your liking, though I'm sure your dinner guests will certainly find it interesting. If we can be of assistance setting up any sort of soirée, I don't know how to say that word, for you, we of course will be more than willing to assist. We look forward to continue business with you and trust that you have taken steps to avoid the attention of a certain group as we advise. Sincerely, Mr. Marshall's Card and Dog. They fucking try to tell this guy to be like, hey, if the SCP Foundation rolls up, just avoid them. Motherfuckers, Marshall Card and Dog. Absolute causing so much chaos. Here we go. All right, and are we ready for my? Here it is. This is the list, the order of how much I enjoyed and had a good time with each SCP we read. Now, just for everybody who's new here, the lowest does not mean that it's bad. It does not mean that I didn't like it. It just means that some of them I just go like, man, this one is fun, this one is cool. And with some of them I'm like either A, bit more confused, or B, I've seen similar things, so it's not that new, so on and so forth. There's no, I mean, if there is critique to be given, then of course I will give it. But yeah, unopenable chest is top because I just think it's hilarious how this chest can be opened. It's not like it's literally not the case that you cannot open it. It's just it's impossible to open it because you just whenever you want to, something happens that will just prevent you from getting to that point. I think you need like a speedster. You need somebody who's like super fast that the SCP cannot keep up with, if that even is possible. Maybe the SCP can adapt to. Maybe it's like mostly linked to somebody's will to open the chest. So like, let's just say the Flash was in the SCP Foundation world, which for his sake, I don't want that. I don't want him to be in the SCP Foundation world because the Flash is my favorite superhero. He's a good boy. Well, he's my favorite DC superhero. He's a good boy. He's a good man. I don't want him to get hurt by unnecessary things. But let's just say the Flash were to run and try to open it. I assume that the chest would be able to tell that the Flash is about to come around the corner at supersonic speed, at the Speed Force speed, and yank that shit open. So it might cause something for the Flash to trip, or just not get to it. Something like that. Gruesome gallery second, because the idea is very scary. That like, I mean, a mirror that shows something like a gruesome death, like a portal, is already bad enough. But the fact that after it replays itself like a fucking TikTok video, that by the third time it gets even worse. It gets even worse. It gave me, I will tell you, it gave me a tiny bit of chills reading that. It did. The director's cut. Now, I know it had a really low rating, but as a filmmaker, and also knowing some of the films that I actually talked about, seeing how like it adds other SCPs that I read about into the films and makes this like uncanny valley weirdness to it. Yeah, no, that is pretty cool idea. It's almost as if like for some reason the filmmakers decided to actually use the SCPs in the set for whatever reason, but of course that's not the case. But still, I think the idea is just really cool. But I think the reason why it hasn't been rated that high is because the first couple films were like films that not many people know about. the one that most people will know is the Batman, the Dark Knight. I thought I saw something skip by. So I feel like if it gave more examples of films that people have, that there's a guarantee that people have seen them, then maybe it would have been rated a bit higher. Maybe. Self-defense sugar. I mean, that's just crazy to me. You throw that sugar shake into the air. Suddenly, vroom, you got like the last airbender rings around you. Just come on, come at me if you want. And then those sugars just next thing you know, it hurts big time. A public restroom, I still think it's hilarious, the idea of you just walking out after you have your business done. You wash your hands, and next thing you know, you turn to your left, giant ass bear looking at you. I just like that image. It's just that idea is funny to me. The birthday monkey, really, really fascinating way to make birthdays scary. Because like if you don't sing, which majority of people don't do that nowadays, because they either sing once and never again, or they just don't like singing birthday stuff, because it's just, let's be honest, birthday songs, except the one from Stevie Wonder, they're a bit lackluster. Wait, did I say the right one? Yes, Stevie Wonder, yeah. I mean, other than that, most birthday songs are pretty, like, not very fun. An absence of detail. Honestly, I feel more bad for the SCP just because I thought the D class was decided, like, I need to hug you. And the SCP is like, no? Por favor, don't do that. And the D class is like, please, just let me splurge. He's like, no. But other than that, I think like the idea that your body changes so much that you could, it's not only just physical appearance, but as we read before, your eyes and mouth and nose can be blocked off just because like it folds in itself or melts into itself, basically. Ugh, brutal. Lost luggage claim. Yeah, I mean, I think the lost luggage claim is a creative idea of a small anxiety that most people have when it comes to like traveling. How many times have people like gone traveling and listen, this is one thing that will have to happen to you at least once when you travel, is that your luggage does not arrive at your destination. I'm not saying I want people to experience that. I'm just saying it has to happen to every person at least once, because it is such a it's such a common thing to happen. Like a friend of mine, happened to her for the first time when she came to London, and she was like really not prepared for it, basically. And I'm just saying, like, it is a bit scary because your stuff is either not here, somewhere else, or never came, never even left the country. But I feel like that's like a small anxiety that people have with traveling, right? So you take that and make it so your luggage just gets swapped with the most craziest shit, and you get injured by it at the end. So it is not not great, not a fun time. Faulkner's last manuscript. I mean, I will be honest with you. I think if I knew more Faulkner, it would have been better. It might have been higher, might have been more in the middle. What I did like about it is that like the last part is like where like what's there to be done. That part, like, it was like really odd that like another person's writing in this book, and it seems to be this like obscure, almost wall-breaking commentary, and I'm just think that's like, yeah, that's definitely the creepy part about it. And the Chicago loop, yeah, I mean that is the lowest one because it is something that has been done many times already. But that's maybe because Chicago Loop. When was Chicago Loop written? Let's see here. If we go here, and we go to history, and we go to second page, 2010. See, so yeah, if I read this in 2010, I'm pretty sure this would have been like fucking like oh my god, that's a dope idea. But nowadays there's so many concepts of loops or like a specific time being stuck forever. Again, there's like even like there was another one that has to do with like time being stuck or something like that. And there's also a Greek myth area like where like you never leave the area and time doesn't really like function the same there. It's almost like if time stopped there. So like it has been done a couple times already. So that's why I think that's one of the a bit low. That's one of the lower ones. That's just because like it's nothing really new. I do like the idea though that like after 26 hours, I do like that it's 26 hours. That's it's like an unnecessarily weird thing, but that's why that's good because it's unnecessarily weird. That's why it's good. Like it's not 24 hours how we expect it to be. It's 26 to be exact. It's like why? It's like just because, you know, just to be weird. I like that after 26 hours it like resets and everybody who was in the loop is just gone. Warehouse 13, that's the show that SB reminds me of. It's been nagging my mind and I finally remember it. Well, that's a way to end it, isn't it? Now. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed today's reading. Tomorrow, we're going to read the 990s and we will have reached a milestone of 1,000. God, I don't know. Some of these SCPs I just read today will be so hard to make thumbnails for. Because for all the new people, I'm going to download this whole entire stream and upload it to my YouTube for people on YouTube to watch it. And I usually make a thumbnail that is me looking at like 10 screens, and each screen has one of the SCPs I read on it. So I know that some of these will be a bit tough to do, but I managed so far, so it should not be a problem. So yeah, that's gonna be up on YouTube tomorrow, and then Sunday we're gonna read SCP 990s, and then we will not read the 1000 next weekend. We will actually read some joke SCPs next weekend, unless actually Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte will be over next weekend, or maybe not this weekend and another weekend. But depending if she is over next weekend, I might not read SCPs next weekend. There will be a small break. If she's not coming over, then I will. So on and so forth. There's just have to see how it is with everything. Other than that, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reading. See you all tomorrow. I wish you all a happy, a good morning, afternoon, evening, and the Afro is with you.